Yes, people, we are here. It's the final day of the Premier League season. I can't believe it. Some people are relieved like Lewis. Some people like me are just exhausted waiting for the FA Cup final. This wants Salah to break records, and George wants Kane to hit 30 goals. So there's still a bit to discuss, people. I'm not even going to lie. I just thought of that off the dome. So there is stuff to talk about. But guys, make sure you're running up the like. Make sure you're subscribing. You know what it's about, man. Final day of the Premier League. Make sure you subscribe to Carefree Lewis, his account on YouTube. Make sure Big Six Bank for months and stuff. And obviously, George is always here, there, and everywhere. And then we've got Hamza joining us for Man City as well soon. Let me just quickly fly through some of the comments. Big up NEF family, big up Soph. Hope you're all good. Apparently, yeah, a lot of changes for Man City as well. Yeah, I see that, Charlie. A lot of changes today coming from Man City. I think Liverpool as well. A lot of changes for them. But yeah, you guys make sure you do need to keep smashing the like. Back Ten Hag. Yes, Dortmund bottled it. I was gutted for them and stuff. I couldn't believe it. Their home form has been sick. I've been backing them for the last 2 months. Their home form has been, they haven't lost. And then the last day of the season, they do that. But you know what I mean? Bayern always find a way, man. Lateness is greatness. Big up, Daniel. Hope you're blessed, bro. Treble is on for you lot. Couple of weeks. Our season is not done. 2 finals left. Big up Monts as well, as Marie saying. Big up Marie as well. Thank you. And all the lads. Love that. Love that. Big up Luton. Yeah, man. 20 minutes down the road. Hey, listen, there were parties last night. I'm telling you now, I was getting videos sent to me left, right, and centre, man. They're going to be rocking into the night. And big up Pelly Ruddock as well. Obviously, man's done the whole conference, the Premier League thing. He's been there for like 10 years now. So big up.
How many seasons did Luton do it in from conference?
10, I think.
So he's been there for 10 years. He's held on.
Yeah, 10 years. I played Hyde United in that like 9 years ago. And that, yeah, but I think they've got to the Premier 9 years. Yeah,
that's so
crazy. Yeah, they've been doing sick. I'm hoping. All right, it'd be very hard to get tickets, but I'm gonna try to go to any game, even if it's Luton Fulham. I don't care. Like, I just want to watch them there. That'd be sick.
Don't they have to expand their stadium? Isn't that like a threshold?
Yeah, 12 million they got to spend, but peanuts now. They just want 100 million.
Yeah,
so they're gonna do it, and I think the way Luton is, in it, like their fans are proper. They would not want to move to like MK Don Stadium, which is 20 minutes away. They want to have it in Kenilworth, so they'll do it anyway. Yeah, 100%. But now, big up Luton, man, the locals and that. So love that for them. And Hamza's just joined as well. But yeah, man, the more we say, man, last day of the Premier League, might as well just vibes out. It is here. I don't know if people are relieved. People are wanting more football. But yeah, man, Lewis, what are you saying, man?
We're at the end game. We're at the finish line, people. It's been a very, very long and draining marathon, but we're here. Nothing's going to ruin this mood, even if we get battered 4-0, because I know it's going to be the last loss. And then I get a little mental break for the next 2 to 3 months. It's what it is. I'm just here to enjoy the sun, watch a game of football, say goodbye to a legend.
You're clever, man. You got the biceps out as well. I see that. I see what you're doing today when you go to.
Bro, it's just the weather is so fucking hot, man.
Yeah, Jimmy's playing off. Why don't you just stand firm? Just say, yeah, do you know what? I'm going to the gym and I'm going to get them out for the ladies today.
Where's the ladies, though? Where's the ladies?
True.
No, but on a level, today's only about saying goodbye to Aspi, play the kids, say bye to Mason Mount. Not really in the nicest of ways, but it is what it is. And yeah, probably hand Newcastle 3 points. I don't think it helps them get third place because I think you lot just need to win to confirm.
Yeah, we got Fulham to get home. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you know what? We might stand a chance. We might get a draw. Yeah, I don't care about the football. This is just about the last day of the season, and then we're done, and we can focus on clearing out the squad because we've been waiting for years for this clear out.
Yeah, it's going to happen. You know, eventually it's going to happen. It's funny you touched on Mason Mount because there's a little report from Ornstein, so I'm going to bring everyone else into it after. But with you lot today, like you said, playing the youngsters, you played us on Thursday. Yeah, the scoreline was 4-1, but I'm always one of them guys that I'm like, you know what, it could have been 7-4 because you lot missed chances and you lot got in some dangerous positions.
It could have been 8-0.
You say, I know you're saying that as a Chelsea fan because obviously things have been bad this season, but you did have chances. Like if Liverpool have the chances that you lot had, Liverpool would score them chances.
I know, but like we played Liverpool at the Bridge, we had chances. We played Tottenham at the Bridge, we had chances, we didn't score. Like that's the story
That's the
of
way the
Chelsea.
season's been, though. That's what I
Either
mean.
you don't make chances and you don't score, or you make chances and you still don't score. Regardless, we don't score, so it don't make a difference.
No, it's true. It's true. But at least you're getting in positions where if you touch up a few players in the summer, then you could be there. But I wanted to ask you about Lewis Hall because I've watched him in the last couple of games. I watched him in the 2 games or against Man City. I think one was in the Carabao Cup where he looked very bright. You think he's one of them guys that's got quite a good future for you lot? Because I think out of everyone that likes coming out of the youngsters, him and Madueke have shown a little bit of a spark or a little bit of energy. Do you think he's all right?
Say it quietly, but he's been our best left back this season. Chilwell's been crap all season. Cucurella's been crap all season. Lewis Hall's come in and he showed flashes of brilliance in nearly every single game. And for an 18-year-old, that's crazy when you're outperforming the veterans and you weren't even meant to be getting any game time past the Man City away game in the League Cup. And that was back in November. He's genuinely been one of our only bright sparks this season. I still would probably rather loan him if we can't sell Cucurella or Maatsen because there's just too many players in his way. And I think he
got Maatsen from Burnley alone, isn't it? I forgot about that.
Maatsen probably goes back.
Yeah, he should probably go back. Yeah,
he probably goes back. But like, if we're still gonna have Chilwell and Cucurella, I'd rather Lewis Hall just go on loan next season because he needs a lot more time and a lot more game experience to develop. And I just don't think he's gonna get that next season. No Champions League competition gone. So, sorry.
The problem that you're gonna have in particular, though, Lewis, is that the new rule you can only loan out. I think it's 7 players above 21, right? And
is it?
Yeah, I think it's 7 players over the age of 21 can only be loaned out. 7 or 8. It's one of those because it hit us this season, and that's why we had to sell Doherty because we have too many players loaned out. And I feel like you guys are going to be stuck next season where you still going to have loads of squad of these very talented young players that are probably still just above 2021, and you're not going to be able to you're not going to be able to loan them out because some of them are going to have to stay with the first team. None of them are actually going to develop because they're not going to be playing and getting enough minutes, like you said. And then you're just having too many players around in the dressing room, like you already have at the moment. Like, when is that problem going to be fixed? And what can Chelsea do about that? Because you already have a bloated squad right now. You know you need to sell players, but it doesn't really look like you're looking to get rid of that many apart from the players that are running out of contracts or ones that have been there for a while and you just can't agree on a new contract.
No, I think there's a lot of players that are going to be going in the summer. Like Ruben's already talking to AC Milan. Gallagher apparently we're trying to get rid of. Mount's obviously going to go. Pulisic, Ziyech, Aubameyang, Mendy, Kovacic, hopefully Havertz. I'd take bids for Koulibaly and Cucurella if they came through. Like, there's going to be a lot of players that leave this summer. I agree with you as well. Like, if we can't loan out a lot of players over the age of 21, then you need to look at some of the loan players as well. Ampadu might need to leave. Hudson-Odoi definitely needs to leave. We need to sort out whatever this problem is with Lukaku. But the main focus of this summer is outgoings. We are going to try and bring players in because there is about 3 or 4 other positions that we do need to strengthen on. But the number one aim is to clear players out. So I would see at least 8 players go. I want to see about 12, but I think at least 8 idealistically leave this summer.
Yeah, you're going to have to definitely clear it out. That's the thing about Pochettino as well. When he comes in, he's not even got long to sort everything out because they're going to come back in start of July, and then the league's going to start 6 weeks later. So they've got to get the rules turning out. If not, he's probably doing work behind the scenes now if it's 100% going to be him, which I know they're probably waiting to confirm it probably next week, which looks like it's going to be done months. What's your take on the Mason Mount situation? Because I see Ornstein come out this morning and again said it looks like Manchester United are the team that he wants to go to now. It looks like he's starting to tell people and making it more loud. But a month ago, I'm not even going to lie, it was like Liverpool were going to get him. He suits the Liverpool midfield, the energy and what they need. And a lot of people were for it. I know Roms was for it as well. And I could see the vision of what Liverpool were trying to do if they were getting him and other midfielders in. But do you think he comes to us as Man United? Are you still thinking Liverpool in there with a chance? Or actually, you might say, do you know what? Go to Man United. I don't even want him anyway, just because he's had a bad season.
I'm kind of in the middle. Like, the Mason Mount signing, it didn't really move me. I'm not gonna act like it did. It hasn't moved me. But I wasn't closed off to the fact that he could still do well under a Klopp system. Klopp is probably looking to get players in the summer so he can revert to type and go back to this false 9, rather than actually pursue this double pivot that we're doing at the moment. It's actually getting us wins. That whole thing scares me. Yeah, I'm terrified. because reverting to type terrifies me because teams learn and teams study. Pep said it himself. You can't play the same way for 5 years and expect teams not to understand how you play and to learn your system and how to play against it. But in terms of Mason Mount, I think that more Liverpool fans are against it than for it.
Okay.
That's especially for the ones that I've seen and heard from. The bar that's been set in midfield for us has been in hell, pretty much, with Hades and them, man. So obviously now it's just a thing where anyone that comes in is like an upgrade. And Mount, with his qualities, I feel like if he's doing the industrial work along with some of the other qualities that he does have in terms of his set piece ability, his shooting ability, and his ability to kind of get around the pitch and be busy, I think it could work for us. But for me, it's that type of system he needs to go in. And right now, what I see from Manchester United is refined transitional football. And Mount is very wasteful. He's a very wasteful footballer. He's not as bad as people make out to be. He's nowhere near as bad as people make out to be. But he's also not the god that some of the proper top blues are making him out to be. Do you know what I'm saying? He's not this God-given talent. Like they treat it, some of them top Chelsea guys, they treat him like he's Foden or Saka or Trent, bro. They put him in. That's how they.
Are you talking about minerals?
Yeah. Well,
he is one of many. He is one of many.
Is he transferring over with Mount?
Listen. If the boot fits in it, if the boot fits. So, I think what I'm saying from that is, whenever, depending on who Ten Hag gets in the summer, what I'm seeing is transitional ball. You guys are starting to press from the front, and we're starting to see the change in system. But no disrespect, but disrespectfully, he's moving like a spicy Ollie right now. It's just more refined on the counter-attack. It's more refined what Man United are doing. Like it or not, at Old Trafford, for 60 minutes, Chelsea bopped them off the park. They bopped them off the park. And Mason Mount is not the answer to that. He's not the answer. Because for Manchester United, when you're playing in transition, you need players that aren't wasteful. Personally, I actually prefer Sancho to Anthony when you're in those transitional attacks.
Yeah. On the right-hand side, he does all right. Yeah, he was fine.
Because Sancho knows the little passes that probably look like they don't matter, but they do in terms of getting you up the pitch and not, wasting those transitional opportunities. Mount is too wasteful for me, and I think will frustrate a lot of Manchester United fans losing the ball on transition more often than not.
And when you think about
overhit passes to Rashford,
you've already got Bruno Fernandes. Why would you need Mason Mount in terms of not? Bruno's obviously going to spam the through balls more, spam that triangle button. But Mason Mount for me is, again, the mistakes, and as Lewis just said, the overhit passes. That's going to frustrate a lot of man.
Yeah, annoying me, man. 100. You know what I think it is though, once, because you just said obviously with Bruno and Mount. I think what it is that Ten Hag has probably looked at the way Arsenal play, for example, with the party was sitting there with Jorginho and then 2 8s and Xhaka and Odegaard. And then he looked at Man City before they done this 3-2-5 thing, but it was, Rodri there, and then it was Gundogan and Bernardo as 2 kind of 8s. I feel like if Mason Mount was our only signing, he's going for energy in midfield, and he's just going to play Casemiro, who's obviously not got the most legs, but he reads the game, and he's going to play 2 8s in Bruno and Mount, and Bruno won't be a number 10 anymore, because a lot of people say, I don't like it. Yeah, that is not going to control.
Bruno and Mount as your 8.
Casemiro will go back to Madrid in a year.
Yeah, that would not control games. That worries me. So for me, if we get Mount for 55 or 60 million, we 100 million% need another midfielder in that can come in and do something next to Casemiro, or be someone who can deputize for Casemiro, who's a calmer influence on the ball. I'm not feeling that midfield. If they think that midfield there, if it was that 3 catches, a Man City to win in the Premier League title, then Ten Hag's got another thing coming. George, you want to have your say on it? Because I was just going to bring Hamza in, but go on.
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, what commands Mason Mount to have a price tag of 55 to 60 million? Like, that's just nuts in the first place.
Being English. In the resale, I think they're protecting themselves that if Mount bangs somewhere at 24, 25, the age he is, they cannot be like, at least we didn't only sell him for 40 million, because he should be a 40 million player. 1 year left on his contract. It should be 40 million.
Exactly
it's being English. It's as simple as that. It's being English.
Yeah, the price.
Gallagher was worth 40 million. We got a 40 million bid from him in January from Everton. That's why for Mount, I can see him leave for 50, 60.
Yeah, no, I get that. I mean, for me personally, I just think Mount isn't a player that a top club should be looking to sign. I feel like Mount is perfect and he's ripe for like a team that's in the mid-table pushing on to the Europa League. I feel like maybe a Fulham, a Brentford, someone like them would be perfect for Mount. I feel like he goes into a team like that and then he looks like a bit more like a star. They give him a bit more control and a bit more. He gets a free roam in the midfield. And I feel like that's what he needs. He needs sort of a free roam role in front of the two lying midfielders, two holding midfielders, and give him a free roam across that midfield because really he isn't super creative. He isn't a player that you can rely on defensively, but he's great at pushing at being that first man of pressing the defense, pressing the lines. He makes some great runs. He's got a good finish on him every now and then. So I feel like he's a player that can add to other teams.
Do you think he would have been like
James Milner?
If Leicester stayed up, is he the type to fit into the Maddison role at Leicester, for example, if they pump money?
Yeah, exactly. But I think Maddison's a lot more talented than him.
I think
that all top clubs, especially if Leicester get relegated, which I hope they do. I'm praying Leicester get relegated just because, of course, when they done us bad over the Premier League season. But even forget about that. It's more just they got so many talented players that I feel like a lot of teams can benefit from, especially Tottenham. So if they go down, I feel like Maddison is a good option. But back to Mount, I don't think he's fit for Man United or Liverpool. And I feel like if he does go into Liverpool already have players that are just as younger than him and more talented, like Fabio Carvalho. For me, put your eggs in that basket. Yeah, like, that's a player right there that you can really,
I don't understand why so many
really build and someone that can be good.
Like, genuinely, I don't know why so many top clubs are in for Mount, but like, I'm not complaining. We need to get rid of this bum by any means necessary. I'm happy with it. Go on.
Did you want Mason Mount gone 12 months ago from now, or was it just a season, based off this season?
12 months, it wouldn't have been the same energy, but like I wouldn't have been that fussed if he left. Like this time last season, he was our best attacker, but that doesn't mean anything with our attack. It's like you're the best of a bad bunch. You're the last one I'm going to go for, but you're still not really one of our best players. He just kind of masters performances with goals and assists.
Yeah, but Lewis doesn't. You know, if you have a crap attack and someone's still thriving, isn't that something? Because people look at Kane and go, "Oh, look what he's surrounded by," and they use that to boost his accolades even more on top of what he's doing. So it's just another. I'm not saying it's true. It's just another way of looking at it. If Mason Mount was able to perform in such a crap Chelsea attack, isn't that another thing to praise him for? Also, because of how the shit he's actually surrounded by, and. For me, it's bad coaching because there was a point where Mason Mount, I looked at him like this guy could be a certified baller in the next few years. Obviously, we're 2 years down the line and he's regressed, but I also put it down to bad coaching in and around Chelsea.
See, I get what you're saying. My only thing with this is that Mount wasn't exactly free scoring against everybody in all areas of the table. It was like a lot of stat padding against the likes of Norwich and teams in the bottom five. And that was about it. Like, if you look at it from a game-by-game basis, he was very inconsistent. You could say the rest of the attack struggled and he thrived, but most of the attack struggled because of him, because he wasn't feeding the players in, and that's why we weren't creating as much chances, over-hitting passes, under-hitting passes, ignoring runners around him. Like, there was a big point this season where I was saying Mason Mount is single-handedly holding my attack back because he is single-handedly killing attacks by not finding players consistently. So I get what you're saying, but no, I feel like Mount's also a big reason why we've had our issues.
But he was 21 going 22 that year that we're talking about, yeah.
Last season.
Well, not last season before that. Season before.
Oh no, season before that he was class. He was class.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I'm saying when he was class, he was 21 going 22. And there's going to be inconsistencies and gaps in his game. I find it similar to some. It's like I compare it to someone like Curtis Jones in a way. And I just think that with Mount, obviously, he at one point last season, he was defo holding man back. With some of the passes he was missing and ignoring, it was almost, it's mad to watch even as a rival. But when he came out of the team, nothing exactly improved. That's why I wouldn't solely blame him because it got worse.
Bro,
if any.
We quietly got a bit better with Mason Mount out the side. We just still couldn't finish to save our lives. But we were making more chances without him. Like, dead ass, like, there was a lot of periods where we'd play Mount, we'd get worse, we'd drop him for a game, or he'd be injured, and suddenly we're playing free-flowing football again. Genuinely, that's bad for you.
Everyone just has a red arrow.
Interesting, no months, because like what you're saying is what I agreed with you earlier. You said Mount isn't as bad as what people make out, but then obviously he's not as great as what other people make out. He's kind of that in between, but at this age he's at now, that next move for him could be the perfect way to see, right, what can you do? Let's unlock you. Because say if he does go to Man United, and then we got Harry Kane as well. It's like there's no excuses when you've got Rashford running behind, you've got Kane who's dropping in, doing his thing, you've got an Anthony or Sancho out there. It's like, right, this is your perfect time to say, right, I am that real player, or no, some of the Chelsea fans were right in saying, you know, he should go. I think that's why it's such a 50-50 thing with him. Were you going to say something else? I want to see what Hamza thinks on the price tag, because obviously as a rival.
Just to say before we go to Hamza, Mount for all of us would be a great squad player. I don't think he starts in any team that's contending for a league title, but I think he's a quality squad player to have around the team.
Okay, fair. Guys, keep making sure you smash the like. 250 of you here. Make sure you subscribe into Big Six Bands. Make sure you subscribe into Carefree Lewis as well. And make sure you're liking the video. Like I said, it's final day of the Premier League. We are going to talk in the relegation and see what others think about it. But yeah, we're just doing a bit of a chilled out show because there's nothing really to rival people about now. It's kind of like, it's been exhausting. It's been a long summer for us as well. So yeah, man, but make sure you keep smashing that like, people. Hamza, as you're looking at it, obviously Liverpool or Man United, two of your closest rivals up there in the north west, should I say. How much are you paying for Mason Mount? And do you think he can actually bridge the gap or help teams bridge the gap towards you guys? Because you're at the top at the moment and you're clear.
Yeah. He's more of a squad player. Absolutely, I agree. Like, he's not a starter. The thing is, he grew up like playing for, I think he grew up at Chelsea. So I think Chelsea's his DNA. So he reminds me of one particular player, but that player went to United. Like, remember the hype that there's a player called Alan Smith from Leeds?
Wow, yeah, of course I remember that. Yeah,
Alan Smith, and he went to United, and he
The
was
striker is that?
Yeah.
He was going to play midfield. He was going to be. Fergie wanted to play him as a midfielder, and he went there, and he was this name that people thought that he'll go all the way to the top.
The blonde head geezer.
Yeah, Rita broke his leg with the shot.
Yeah.
So
this the hype, like Alan Smith, Mason Mount, these guys they grew up in a particular one club, but they move on to Man United. I think he's a squad player, but I don't see him as a guy that bridges the gap, the guy who changes the game, the guy who comes off the bench. I think United need leaders. You need a lot of leaders, like leadership there. Like that's what City have a lot in our squad. So to me, I believe I'm hearing reports of 80 million. 80 million.
Yeah, that would be crazy.
You know, and I'm hearing 80 million. You can get so much from 80 million, like with other players.
Can you got Anthony for 80 million.
By the way, just so you don't know, Pochettino signed his Chelsea contract.
Pochettino signed the contract. Let's go.
Signed the contract.
To United, that's a lot of money, man. But United will spend that money. I don't see Liverpool spending that money on Mason Mount. Liverpool are very smart spenders.
Do you know who I think is a good option apart from Mason Mount? Yeah, that Liverpool should really be looking into is Jacob Ramsey. I think Jacob
Ramsey in the 8 for me. He's someone who suits that Klopp system.
Yes,
he's a baller. You know who
he is. Yeah, he's a serious baller. He was doing some good work. I feel like Gerrard got a lot out of him. Gerrard really built his game and got a lot out of him. And since then, even with Emery, he's a key to that Aston Villa attack. And
I reckon Moss would want him over Mount.
100%.
Yes. My only thing is that, like, Curtis Jones's form now has slightly his form has slightly like changed my outlook. But we'll get to Liverpool when we get to Liverpool. We'll talk about that because I'm quite interested.
We can go on Twitch obviously now. I know Lewis has got to go in 15 minutes, guys, or 10-15. I know his stream's going to be obviously talking about 5 minutes. Pochettino obviously signed his contract at Chelsea, so make sure straight after this stream, because we're only going to do another 20 minutes anyway, that you head over to what's it called, Lewis's channel, and then they're going to be talking about that there as well. But Mods, let's talk on Liverpool, because the last thing I'll do is talk about the relegation. But Liverpool, obviously today you're going to make changes. But Mo Salah, like you said, I think off air, something about equaling Henry's record, so he's going to be hungry to do something. But yeah, man, your season is interesting. You nearly could have stuck into the top 4, but it's ended, and obviously Salah put a post out. But yeah, man, you lot are looking to next season. Talk to me, Liverpool, man.
Anyway, I just think with the I'm
gonna have a drink because I like Thursdays. I'm just gonna drink quickly. Sorry, I'm having a toast.
That's great. Great stuff.
Cheers, Lewis.
You know what? We didn't deserve top 4, if I'm honest. We didn't deserve it. We definitely didn't deserve it. Klopp, the first two-thirds of the season, Klopp was outmanaged, outclassed, out-tacticked by interim managers, world-class managers, basic managers, newly promoted managers, you name it. Any type of manager, Klopp was out-tacticked by. You can blame FSG all you want. This season, the majority of it, the blame is on Klopp, unfortunately, as hard as that is to say. He finally pulled his head out of his ass and slapped Trent in the midfield, changed things up, and that's what got us the 7-win streak. We're still actually unbeaten even now in 9 or 10, I believe. And that's what needed to happen a lot earlier. Pep probably would have thought of that a lot earlier. I'm not gonna lie. Certain other managers would have changed things up, but unfortunately, no, it was Klopp's decision not to buy a midfielder. It was Klopp's decision not to get Nunes after Tchouaméni getting rejected, and it was also Klopp's decision not to get a midfielder in the January, and we got an attacker instead. Listen, by the way, Cody Gakpo's coming good. Like, he comes good, so I'm not gonna lie.
He's doing better at the moment.
Yeah, he's looking really good. So, and obviously Nunes looks to be one for the future, or he has to be, because if he doesn't, then it's a waste of money. But like, if you can't look at this season and blame and look at Klopp's fault, you can't look at Klopp's faults and think, oh, he's fine, he's perfect, he's good, he's done all this for Liverpool. Then clearly you support Jurgen Klopp FC. You don't support Liverpool FC. Because
has Klopp relieved some of the pressure on him going into next season, because this run he's had, sort of this 8-9
100%. It shows that he is capable of changing systems successfully and making it work and giving teams something to think about.
That's annoying me though, that it's taken so long, because you look how close he got to top 4. Because
Klopp's never been the guy where his in-game tactics are off the, oh my god, amazing, this tactical bro. He has his style, and when he has his tools and his style is there, yes, he's top 2 in the world. But when he doesn't have his style, it's a car crash. It is a car crash. And the blind ones will say it's not Klopp's fault, it's FSG. Klopp had money to spend. He spent it on a striker, and he miscalculated, and he thought the midfield was good enough. And then when Liverpool was sitting in 10th like a bag of bums, he thought, oh shit, maybe the midfield is shit. Oh my god. Hey, FSG, can we get Jude and 3 midfielders? And they've gone and said, no, you get one or the other. You get one or the other. And now he's realized, well, Jude isn't let's be honest, Jude is not the answer to fix this whole midfield. You need 3 midfielders. And that's the one thing he did make that was correct. The 3 midfielders that you need is always going to be better than getting one sole player. You know what I'm saying? Legs are gone. Kate is leaving. Ox is leaving. Fabinho's legs are gone. You know what I'm saying? That's 4 man. And then obviously that's Hendo and Fabinho whose legs are gone, and then you've got 3 midfielders. Milner's gone as well. So that's now 5 midfielders who have either regressed or leaving the club, putting a lot of pressure on the midfield now. And also you've got Thiago, who doesn't complete enough games in the Premier League. So to not address the midfield in the summer is criminal. To have us wait for Jude Bellingham is criminal. And then to not get him is even more criminal. That's jail time. That's jail time. And then to put ourselves in a position where if we maybe looked at Bellingham in the summer, we then probably would have been able to also get 2 midfielders this summer, or get 1 midfielder in Jan and get another one in the summer. So therefore you actually ideally get your midfielders and Jude over the span of 3 windows. But the fact that we've not got anything for the last 2 windows, we can't go and get the Bellingham that we wanted and the midfielders we want. And who does that come down to? Norbert Klopp, unfortunately, because man saw Nunes and thought, oh my gosh, he done up our dance, let's go buy him. Like what we did with Minamino. He messed us up, so let's go buy him. Like,
can I be direct with you? Because I like this question. I said to you, has he saved himself a little bit of time? Because obviously the 8-9 game is unbeaten. A lot of people will be off his back a bit. If I actually said to you right now, you could swap him for another manager, would you do it?
No.
Okay.
Is that because you're trusting Klopp, or is that just because the managerial candidates out there aren't that good?
Both. Both.
Okay.
Luis Enrique is the only manager I'd turn my head to. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, because there you go. Look, yeah, Luis Enrique is the only manager I sort of turn my head to, but we don't have really enough players to play his style. There'd have to be a whole overhaul of players to suit his philosophy, I think. And with Jurgen, as I said, the 7-game win streak has shown that. Allow the De Zerbi to not now. He needs more experience, but big him up. But big up De Zerbi on what he's doing. He is mad. But yeah, I feel like with Jurgen Klopp, I was happy for him to walk at one point this season. Not Klopp out, but I was happy for him to walk because everyone's saying, "Oh, it's fine because we're gonna buy 3 midfielders this summer." Since when has it been fashionable to believe anything that FSG said? They gaslight us 24/7. So why are we choosing when to be gaslighted and when not to be gaslighted?
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying? Like, you want to believe that we're going to get 3 back time. You want to believe that we're going to buy 3 midfielders. That doesn't make any sense because the same fans that saying FSG lie, they're gassed, and they do, by the way. They do. They say they're going to do this and they don't do it. Things get put forward and it just doesn't happen. Right, that does happen. So why are you now choosing to believe the fact that we're going to spend all this money and bring in free midfielders?
I don't think you get 3. Actually, funny enough, the more I think about it, I think you get 2 midfielders. If you get 3, it'll be someone like an up-and-coming player, but you've just done that with Carvalho, and then you've not basically paid him. Carvalho, he could be one of them 3, technically, because he's not played this year, and then you get 2 proper midfielders.
But Carvalho's pretty much been confirmed that he's leaving in some type of way. He's going to go on. I feel like they're going to sell him. I feel like it's a loan to sell. And I feel like they're just going to look to find him a club where he can settle down for the next couple of years.
Quite annoying, though, because you can see that he's got the talent, but then he's actually not been given the chance to showcase that talent. And it's one of them ones, if he goes and excels at a team that he goes to, George, then it's always going to be like, oh, what if? But I'm just going to segue Lewis out because Lewis has got to go to obviously his own channel now. But Lewis, big up for coming on. Enjoy today, bro. Last day, man, and you can start.
Big up, my guys.
Yeah,
enjoy today, people. Enjoy today. Take care, my guys.
Big up,
Lewis.
Yeah, George, what's your thoughts on the Klopp situation? Like with Liverpool, obviously today, like you said, like it's basically the season's over, but Salah's trying to get the record to match or beat Thierry Henry with 30 goals and assists in 2 seasons. But do you think Klopp saved himself a bit of time now? Do you think he's recovered a bit of it because he's changed the formation, shown that, oh, okay, I can adapt if I need to? But the annoying thing for Liverpool fans is it was a bit too late. But do you think this is the way they can kickstart into next season, that momentum saying, look how we finished last season? That's what we've got to do next season.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like they've done this before, and it's not the first time that they've done this, where they've sort of trailed off throughout the season, and then at the end they just come back and then they pick up point, and then all of a sudden they're back in a good position, and people forget how bad Liverpool was 3 months ago, and that's pretty much what he's done. He's made a lot of Liverpool fans forget how bad they were. He's made a lot of Premier League fans forget how bad they was, and props to him. Liverpool done an amazing comeback. I personally didn't see it coming. Now, I always said they wasn't going to get top 4 from that position, but finishing 5th and potentially only 4 points off top 4, that's a strong position. If you look at the season as a whole and you say, oh, we finished 4 points off top 4 and we had a bad season, you really can't say much. And you look at the team, they've got a lot of changes to do. For like in the summer, like Mons has already highlighted, they have a lot of work to do, and I feel like FSG will give him the money like they always do. It's just about Klopp going out there and identifying the right players to come in. I feel like as of recent, the big thing with Liverpool is they've got it wrong on the recruitment side. Maybe like the past two years or so, it hasn't gone as well as it did when he first came in. Because when he first came in, every player they signed was top.
It's because of Michael Edwards.
Every player you signed, Michael Edwards, we had him as well. Like every player that they signed, it was a hit. And then once you go for a period where 1, 2, 3 seasons, those players aren't hitting like the other ones would, you see the team drop off heavily. And that's the same that's happened to us. So I think Liverpool are going to be in a very strong position next season. Playing Europa League, obviously, I don't feel like Klopp's ever going to take it serious. I feel like he knows and the players know that Champions League is their level, so they're probably just going to play it around. But Salah, you know what, man? With this Salah guy, I don't know how he does it. Honestly, I don't know how.
He's so not pleasing on the eye, isn't it?
Like, for me, I've had, you call it an agenda or whatever it is, but I don't like Salah. I don't like the way he plays. He scores goals. He's not pleasing on my eye. And I think it's very... Man. Like when I watch wingers and footballers like him who score a lot of goals, I want to see some Jogo Bonito. He hasn't got that. To me, he's just like kick and run. He's got a little bit of tech, a little bit of skill, and he somehow, some way, he manages
that pause thing and then runs again. Like
and he manages to score goals. And this, I said this season, I said this is the season Salah's gonna fall off. I said he's getting below 18 goals, and yet again he just about pips it.
46 GA later.
Like literally, like the guy, 11 assists, 20 goals nearly. Like he's having a. I mean, it's a bad season, as in it took him too long to get to the point where he's starting to perform for Liverpool actually on the pitch. But goals and assists wise, it's a better season than most players can even ever talk about. A lot of players don't ever do this.
Dream of doing this. It's the consistency, because like even me, like I don't care. Like I look at Riyad Mahrez as a winger. He doesn't get the numbers, but I look at him. I'm like, okay, like he's a proper like winger. He's nice on the eye. You know, he's silky on the ball. But I look at Salah, but he's just like he doesn't do anything apart from like score goals that makes me like, oh my god. But it's the ability to do that so consistently that anyone in the world would take it. But I agree with you, George. Like it's not an agenda. It's just he's not pleasing on the eye, and even some Liverpool fans must get annoyed with him because he just does some dumb shit sometimes. But
it's true.
He does get the goals. It's like we take that out. Where are they getting that?
He's extremely efficient.
Can I just say it is disrespectful to say he does nothing but score goals though, because he does create. He creates a lot of chances. He beats players. Just because he beats players in the way that Suarez used to beat players. You know how Suarez always looks like he's falling over the ball.
Yeah, or they drop the shoulder thing.
You wouldn't catch Suarez doing step overs. It's more just drop of the shoulders, because Suarez's body. Suarez had a little belly in it. He had a little tub.
Yeah.
So he weren't really silky like that, but he was just unbelievably. Suarez was way more techie than Salah, by the way. I'm not saying Salah was on his.
No, I hear you though. No, I hear the example what you're saying though. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? But with Salah, for me, people are upset because he's not Eden Hazard as a footballer. But when you're as efficient as Salah, you can be I think he's still a 7 at dribbling. He's still an 8 with his movement. He's a 7/8 all around the board with 10 with his efficiency being 10 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see what I'm saying? And I think people expect him to be Eden Hazard and still score goals like Mo Salah. If he was that, he'd be Messi. He'd be Messi. He's not Messi. He's allowed to just be
you can't have everything in it.
Like he's not someone that loses the ball every time he gets it. He's got good short passing. He's very good at creating chances outside of the boot, inside. He's got good vision. He's brilliant in the final third, but he's not gonna silk your way through the ball like Neymar. Like Neymar and he's not gonna break the lines consistently. He'll break the lines here and there, but do you know what I'm saying? And even when he's finishing, he's wasteful. How about this? He's one of the most consistent players you've ever seen in the Premier League, but he still misses a lot. He misses a lot.
Loads. He misses loads of chances.
So imagine if he actually was a technical, ridiculous gunman where he doesn't miss that much. It'd be even more scary.
But Marks, is that a Salah Roma top you got on?
What are you talking about?
Is that a Salah Roma top you got on? Is that what I'm seeing there right now?
Listen, I'm supporting Salah today. This is what I'm supporting Salah today.
I bet it hasn't even got Salah on the back. I bet it's got someone else.
And you know it's the season before he left as well, isn't it? This is from the season he left.
It was let down.
No, I knew it was a couple of years ago because I recognize that top.
Yeah, I can tell by the collar.
Yeah. This is when Salah and Dzeko were doing the madness. When they were doing the madness. But obviously,
guys, keep smashing the likes, by the way. Go on, man.
I was just saying, I just think it's a little bit disingenuous when people say he's just not that good at football and he's really consistent scoring goals. He's a good to very good footballer. I would say very good on, as I said, it's up and down. As I said, sometimes you get the Salah versus Man City where he just wants to turn into Messi. Sometimes you get the Salah versus Bournemouth where you don't see him all. There's inconsistencies there, but he's still a good footballer. For me, again, he holds the ball up well. He holds off defenders twice his size. He's able to twist up defenders like Martinez, who's been one of the best centre backs all season. He's got that there. That's not his consistent trait, but what he is consistent as, again, putting that ball in the net, getting those numbers, even when the chips are against us.
Does he get that today? Does he get that decisive goal today?
Yeah, I think he does, because we just got to that point where we just got to get Salah the record. Obviously, Thierry Henry's done it in 2 seasons, scoring 20 goals and getting 10 assists. Salah's also done it in 2 seasons, but Salah wants to make it his third. I think Salah's got one more top year left in him.
Yeah, I
And-
agree with that. I agree with that.
You know what? You could probably say 2 because he takes care of his body so much. Salah plays 38, 37, 36 to 38 games every year.
Ever. Like, it's remarkable.
Yeah,
He's world class, man. He's world class. Salah's
Yeah.
he's world class. Like, a lot of people are just jealous of Salah, but I'm honest here. That boy, he's world class, man. You don't get those kind of goals and assists without being a top player. Unfortunately, it's just unfortunate. Like, he's played for Liverpool. He's wasted the years and he's not got many trophies. Like this year again. Like, I feel sorry.
Isn't it?
Other than the Premier League and I'm just saying that his quality.
I love how Hamza just
I can
casually
see
said he's not one.
he should have played for Madrid. I can see him. He should have played for Madrid or something. But unfortunate. I'm not saying in a bad way, but because he's working with a manager.
Yeah.
He's working with a manager who's given him the trophies, but he deserves more than that. He works hard. Without Salah, Liverpool's nothing.
Yeah,
I don't
100%.
Liverpool. Where Liverpool? Liverpool probably 10th, 11th. They're same as Chelsea. Yeah.
100%.
There's no doubt about it. Like, Salah is.
What do you not think to this though? Obviously, Hamza, while you talk about it, look, Gundogan's listening to you, and he said world-class finisher, not world-class player. Please.
I feel like he creates way too many chances to be just a world-class finisher. Like, if I was gonna say world-class finisher, not world-class player, I'd say Heung-min Son. That like he's the mold of a world-class finisher.
Yeah, that's a great
not
example.
really a world-class player, but his finishing is off the
I'd
charts.
even throw Marcus Rashford in there with that.
Nah,
Nah,
he's not a good finisher. Rashford's not a finisher. I don't know.
No way.
He's really not.
There's level
When
to this
Rashford's
game.
in his
No.
prime, when Rashford's in, I think Son in his prime is a much better version of Rashford in it for me. Like, Rashford's finishing when he's in his zone. There's not many man where they're bearing down on goal, and I'm like, fuck's sake. When Son is in on goal, it's literally me going, oh my days.
No, but even Man United
I know it's
fans know
gonna
that.
be a
Like,
goal.
when
Huh?
Rashford's doing that, you're like, what Rashford's gonna turn up? Because for me,
Yeah.
I watch
Son
Rashford. He literally head down, looks at the ball, and just hits it. Like, and yeah, his finishes look very good. They look very clean, but he doesn't pick his spot and place it in that corner. He's just hitting it.
It depends on his
wide
form.
in the corner.
But I just based on what Gunnar Lee said about world-class finisher, but not world-class player. Gunnar Lee, you was calling Saka a world-class player. So right. So you see all of that, like, you're gonna Salah, and then what you're doing Saka when it comes to player or as a player. That is confusing to me. That's baffling to me. I don't know, KLFC. I'm not gonna cook Gunnar Lee because I haven't seen Gunnar Lee since the fall off of the title. I've been trying to find him in his natural habitat. I can't find him. Yeah.
I wanted to ask a question. Yeah, this probably goes to the panel, but mainly Hamza. Obviously, Haaland, absolutely amazing season. If he completes the treble, is Garrett the Ballon d'Or? He's 100% secured it. Are we all right in thinking that? In agreeing that?
Thinking the Ballon d'Or, real talk. Wow.
Because even though I know it's early in the year, for a player to come into the Premier League, break as many records as he has, score as many goals as he has, win the Premier League, win the Champions League, and then win the FA
there's
Cup.
no international tournament either, is there? Yeah.
Like, there could be no doubt in your mind that Haaland's the guy. He's the guy.
He's no doubt. Like he's the guy that should get Ballon d'Or. But the problem is that World Cup is the issue. And that couple of games, and that's why I'm gonna bring another guy. I know you're gonna say you're gonna laugh on. Like, listen,
I know who you're gonna say.
If Messi deserves the World Cup, yeah,
You're gonna
and it's
say
saying because Messi won it, I'm bringing Alvarez in.
I knew he was gonna do it.
No, 1 second. No, I'm dragging Alvarez in. Dragging. No, but it is because that Lautaro was a bum. Didn't do anything. Argentina getting knocked out. Like, they lost against Saudi. They were drawing to Australia. They were going out against Mexico. Alvarez comes on. He changes the game. He changes the way Messi plays. He gives Messi the World Cup. He helps winning Man City win the league and the Champions League. He won everything as a footballer. So, to me, I believe if that World Cup is placed in, man, you're dragging Alvarez in. But in terms of Messi and Haaland, listen, Messi is playing in a farmers league. No disrespect, yeah. This guy's playing the best league in the world. This guy is like Messi's getting booed by his fans. PSG fans are booing this guy. We're loving this guy. He's broke all the records. The records that not any other player. I've seen players like Henry came to EPL. They were banging like 9 goals, 10 goals, 12 goals. Oh no, 17 goals first season. Drogba hit 9 goals first season. This guy scored over 50 goals generally. 50 goals. Yeah. He's scoring goals. He's helped us win the league. Yeah. He's helped us win. Probably we'll win the FA Cup. And if we win the Champions League, he deserves it. the Ballon d'Or. To me, the only thing that makes Messi is because you have these guys who just are deluded, just thinking that once Messi is in there, he deserves it. But I'm sorry to say that being the best player in the world means that you've consistently shown at that top level every single game that you are the best player. And a lot of players are either just jealous of Haaland because they love Kylian Mbappe. We've got the Kylian Mbappe fans, they detested it. This is the worst nightmare for the Mbappe fans because Mbappe, like, not getting the Ballon d'Or before Haaland is a big one. So I believe Haaland deserves that Ballon d'Or. If he wins the treble, there's no way. And if he doesn't get it, we've been cheated. And I will never accept that Ballon d'Or ever again. To me, I wonder
if he's favourite if they do the treble, because that is a great point, George. I didn't even think of like who could win it this year. And Haaland would be an honourable shout based on the goals he's produced. The fact that City have finally won the Champions League because he signed. I'm not saying that's the only reason, but it's the fact that they signed him to win it, and in his first season they've won it. Do you get what I'm saying?
They've done everything that they've literally achieved something that they've never achieved before in their history, which is do the treble. As in the Champions League, Premier League, like the big treble, the big boys. And they win the Champions League for the first time, win the Premier League, brought in Haaland to do it and score 52 goals in 51 games. Like, that is crazy. Like that, those types of numbers is something that we all thought could potentially happen, but no one believed it. Like, no one sat there and really thought Haaland's going to be scoring more goals than games played. Like, that is just crazy. And for me, like, the one thing that surprised me most about Haaland's game, because of course we watch him in the Bundesliga and stuff, but you take it with a pinch of salt. For me, whenever I see players playing these types of leagues, I take it with a pinch of salt. I'm like, they're playing good, but I need to see it against proper defenders in the Premier League, in the fast pace. And the amount of assists he's got, he's nearly on 10 assists. He's got 8 assists. He's played brilliantly with Kevin De Bruyne. Like, the way they lay it off of each other and they play off each other, I feel like that partnership there, that can go down like soon if they stay together for a few years in history. Is one of the best.
I see the little flick-ons and he runs off and
little flick-ons, and even where they just know where to find each other on the pitch. Like, Kevin De Bruyne knows where Haaland's going to be in the box before Haaland's there. When he's 20 yards away, he's putting that ball into a specific spot where he knows Haaland's going to make it, and he's got there. And there's been so many goals like that this season, man, where those guys have just been absolutely amazing.
The Arsenal goal is the epitome of what you're saying, to be fair, when they played Arsenal at home in that big game.
The long ball, the flick up.
The flick, and then De Bruyne runs through, hits it in. Like, it's just the whole everything that come together. And to be fair, for a first season, I think they will only get better next season. So I agree with how Mont supplied the same to Salah in terms of, I think he's got 1 or 2 big seasons left at Liverpool. I think De Bruyne is in the same. He's got one definitely a big year, and in the second year we can do it in 2 years' time, and fair play to him. But they've both got 1 or 2 more years at that highest level left. Guys, I just want to make sure you run up the likes. There's nearly 300 of you in here. Obviously, the last day of the season, it's lunchtime. People are probably out and about, but still have 300 of you here. Big up, man. So make sure you subscribe into the channel if you're new. Make sure also you're checking out Big Six Bamps content for months. If you're there as well, and Hamza George, they're always on here floating about, and definitely will be over the summer as well when the transfer window opens.
Someone said Salah's ceiling is better than Saka's ceiling is better than Salah. Guys won't want to hear this, and I love my young players and stuff, but Saka's ceiling probably Raheem Sterling.
That's vile. That's a straight violation, bro. I'm not even.
Why? What's wrong with Raheem Sterling?
Raheem Sterling, no, let's be real. You're gonna talk about his success. Take away his success. You're talking about his actual game as a player. Saka's already better. Saka's already better than Sterling ever was as a player.
Okay.
He's cutting on the left side, cutting on the right side. His finishing is a lot more cleaner. He's young. He's playing more positions. He's a better direct dribbler. For me, Sterling in his prime was a back post merchant who used to tap in the ball
Yeah,
from
man.
KDB.
He-
for Manchester
Pep
City
played-
and
Pep
scored
played him
15, 20
position.
goals.
Very disrespectful.
He was
Yeah,
a system player. He was a system player.
Yeah,
Yes,
100%.
he was good. No one's going to take away. Sterling was still a very
How can you
good
call him
player.
a system
I'm not
player
a
when
big Sterling fan. I'm not
he's
even
not
a big Sterling fan either.
he's not a system player because he banged off at Liverpool as well. So what do you mean?
He didn't bang off at Liverpool.
And he
didn't
played
bang
on.
off. He
He
didn't
didn't
bang
bang
off
off at Liverpool.
He had
He
one.
didn't
He
bang
had,
off.
he had one good season when it was the SSS.
He was
When
17 and then went to 18 and then ended up playing up front for the third season before he left. As
Did
finished
you know
as a
what?
top scorer.
With
truth-
SSS, he banged off. That's it.
The truth about Sterling's kind of come out. I know everyone's been bad at Chelsea this season, but I said it, on this show. When he signed for Chelsea and they were trying to sign him to be like 50 million, main guy who's going to score, he's going to create, he's going to be like their main catalyst in attack. I said he's never had to do that before. He would start against Everton one week and then be on the bench against Brentford the next week because they rotate, they switch it up. And then basically when he's there, he's always getting fed chances. When you've got Gundogan, you've got De Bruyne, you've got Bernardo, you've even got Jesus back then when he was playing, and all these players creating for you. All you've got to do is be in the right place at the right time. At Chelsea, he ain't getting all that. So he's got to take it up on himself, the responsibility.
Okay.
He was never going to be able to do that once. Saka has already shown that he can take the responsibility in game.
No, he hasn't. Saka hasn't achieved anything for one. I'm just saying. Listen, if you don't think,
You're being clever.
if you think Sterling is just a tapping merchant and that's all he had as an attribute,
No, we're not saying he's a tapping
that tells me you lot
merchant.
didn't.
How can you say that he is?
You lot didn't. You lot, as I said, you lot.
We didn't watch him at Liverpool when he used to run to the byline and cut it back across because that's his favorite.
No, I'm just saying you lot didn't. You lot just clearly didn't watch Sterling, and obviously clearly everyone forgets his World Cup run as well when he was the best player, better than your Harry Kane guy, by the way, as well.
Harry Kane, he was the Golden Boot winner in that World Cup run.
No,
the last one where he scored
sorry, the Euro. Maybe the Euros actually. The last one, Sterling.
You're talking about Euros. Well, that was here in England.
He was the best player in the Euros for England.
He was
by
rubbish.
far.
He was so overrated. I actually watched it. I remember that game against Germany. I went to that game at Wembley, and he scored the goal, and everyone was like, Sterling played like he was poor the whole game. Scored a little
as I said,
he's having an amazing campaign, and he's done that a few games.
Sterling was doing for City, See what Sterling was doing for City. As I said, City fans will tell. I shouldn't have to do it. City fans will tell you about my Jamaican gunman, innit? City fans will tell you. I don't know where Hamza is.
Not that you're clever. Do you City and you know what?
Yeah.
I respect Sterling, but as
Say
a
Sterling
footballer,
was
watching
attacking
him,
much of
Saka
City.
is a better footballer than Sterling. I'm with Jaws on this. Saka is a
Hamza
good
agrees as well. Hamza, do you not think
taking
that
Sterling's
Saka is a better
achievements
player
away
than
from
Sterling
Sterling's
ever was?
achievements there. Sterling's achievements, he's got them. They're cool. They're locked up. I respect it. But as a footballer, I believe that Saka is better than Sterling, and he's still only 21 now. But as a footballer,
I know Hamza agrees, man.
I know.
Saka is an exceptional player. Like he's an exceptional player. But what Sterling did in that season, Saka is more talented. You can see the ball control, the dribbling, the movement, the way he does. Like you can see he's naturally. Sterling, I think where he reached like 2017-18, that was an amazing season. Like literally the goals. Will ever Saka reach that level? We'll see. Because I've seen players who are supposed to reach up, like go all the way to the top. But when we put them in great teams like Real Madrid, Man City, Barca, they don't do well because the pressure.
Let me just challenge.
I want to see Saka when he leaves Arsenal and he comes to City. I want to see that.
You see the ball controlling wingers, and this is what I'm thinking top of my head. I might be wrong, but when you think of the ball controlling wingers, the Mahrezes, the Eden Hazards, the Bukayo Sakas, not the Martinellis, not the Sterlings, when they arrive in the right positions, that they're more the output players. They are going to get the numbers. I don't think Saka's ever going to be like he's getting like 30 or 25 goals and doing all that because he's not that. Mahrez don't do that, but Mahrez has been sick. Eden Hazard was sick, but he didn't ever get that many numbers like that. So I feel like them type of wingers, they're not there just to get the numbers. It's about the ball control.
Mahrez has been City's top scorer in multiple seasons, by the way. But
it's not like it's not numbers that you're looking at Heung-min Son numbers, are you? Do you know what I mean?
Usually if he gets like 15 goals. He was their top goal scorer when they had no striker.
I'm not saying Sterling, for you to play under Pep and stay as a staple in his system. First of all, we haven't seen a better front three than Aguero, Sane, and Sterling, by the way, at Man City. There has not been a better front three than that.
We've seen it this season.
And Hamza, you're a City fan, so you might disagree with me. Sane, Sterling, and Aguero was the best front three I have seen at Manchester City.
Other than this one
right now is better.
This is crazy, man. KDB,
KDB,
Grealish, and Haaland. They're
That's
deadly,
not
man.
maybe.
I know they haven't got the same vibe, but they're more deadly. Like they're deadly.
I'm talking
They've got
about
deadly striker, deadly assister, and a
No, but I'm talking about a front three. I'm not talking about a midfielder attacker. I'm talking about as a right winger, left winger striker. That's been the most cohesive front three I've seen. And for Sterling to pick up 17 goals, 10 assists, 19 goals, 8 assists, I think 20 goals, 1 assist. And the season he got 20 goals was considered a bad season, by the way. That was considered his one of the worst seasons that he had. When you're ruthless like Sterling, that's when you go and you have to play at a certain level to stay in Pep's team as a first choice player for 3+ years. You have to be at a certain level. You have to.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, Mons, let me tell you, the Saka PR is too much. Saka PR is too much. Like
it's way too much, bro.
Like this season, I said it. This season, let's say example.
Cool, bro.
Yeah, this season, Foden scored 15 goals. He scored 14 goals, like generally. But you don't hear about Foden. Saka scored 14 goals in 3,000 minutes. Foden scored 15 goals in 1,500 minutes. Like, and Foden's been injured for 3 or 4 months. But you don't hear that hype because the PR with Saka is just immense. This guy is unbelievable. People don't judge this boy that's had a poor last couple of 4 months or 5 months. Sterling, Sterling was performing at top level that got us that league. I want to see Saka doing that. He's 21, yes. But at the end of the day, I don't look at the age. I look at how long you've been playing football. The guy is a senior player because he's been playing football since 2018-19. He's been playing for 2-3 years. Forget this young age, la. I've heard this so many times. He's had enough experience to be good enough to take a team to the top level. There's no such thing as age anymore. We don't look at that. It's how long have you been playing football for a team? How long have you started? How many seasons are you playing at top level? And great players, top level players, when pressure's on, they deliver. And Sterling's done it.
All you need to do is look at the big 3 English young players that have come through in the last 4 or 5 years. As I said, it's Saka, Foden, Trent. Look at the trophy cabinet of all of them. Compare them. One's won everything. The other could be about to win everything. On his 5th Premier League, the other one just has an FA Cup he didn't contribute much to.
Shameful.
I mean,
you can talk about them as footballers. As I said, Saka is a brilliant footballer, but at the end of the day, being a brilliant footballer isn't always going to win you the game. I'm going to be real. Always going to win you the game. Kane's a brilliant footballer, but it's not always going to win you the game. Kane's a bad example because he scores you goals, millions of goals as well. But
look, I'm not a massive fan of Saka, but you're definitely being disingenuous here. The only difference that shows that you name those 3 players is you showed 2 players at a top club thriving and 1 player who's young, who's been dragging their club through the mud and has only just started to see the rest of them thrive.
Liverpool weren't thriving when Trent came through. Liverpool weren't thriving when Trent came through. This is the first season where you haven't looked at Arsenal team and thought, Saka's really just like, Saka's saving them. And a lot of last season and the season before that, there was many games and many times where you saw Saka saving that Arsenal team. This season, you saw Odegaard step it up, take the captain's armband and be like, look, this is my team too. You saw Martinelli step up and have his best season, one that we all expected him to have, but we actually seen it for once because Martinelli is always a player that's disappointed but been very good. I feel like Saka, man, he's getting a lot of hate right now, and I feel like it's because he's the hot thing, and he's just signed his new contract, and it's because he plays for Arsenal. No,
and as much as I hate Arsenal, I still feel like Saka is going to be a lot better than a lot of people thinking. For him to be doing what he's doing at 21 years of age, playing as good as he is, taking Arsenal into the position that they are, he's doing his thing. Saka's being very good. He's performing. I think that Foden's a better talent, but he's been performing better than Foden. This season, he's had.
Where has he been? Like the key thing to an athlete is you start the race well, but it's about ending. Where did you end up? Like it's a finish line. If you're not ending well, no one cares about the beginning. The thing is, you guys the PR with Saka is too much. You guys will refuse to accept that the guy's been poor. One of their worst players in the last 4 or 5 months. 5 months.
No.
5 months. This guy
was stay for that long. He did have a few bad ones. He did.
They compared him. Now you compare him to Sterling.
Well, I feel like when you guys say bad months, Hamza, what has been
great
bad
players.
for Saka?
Let me tell you something, George. Great players in big moments, they have the cojones. They stand up, they'll perform. The big game, they have it, man. They love it.
Hamza, how many games?
You see that?
Hamza, you know the season where you guys just picked us. How many last minute goals did Sterling score?
Oh, so many, man. Oh my God.
Just tell me that. How many last minute goals did Sterling score in those 2 seasons where you beat us?
Oh my God, he was scoring every.
Look at the team. Wait, look at the teams that you're
ultimately, it's gonna be.
No. Don't do that, because what teams was Saka playing against at the end of this season that he missed his penalty against? How many teams?
I'm not gonna sit here and say. I will sit here and say I'm not Arsenal fan. I will tell you that Saka's been bad for like 3-4 months of this season. He has, but let's not act like that's been a backup of him being amazing for so long. That he's got to have. He's a young player. Wait. He's a young player. Sterling was bad for months and months and months at Man City. It took him ages to find his feet in that City team. Just like Foden has had bare bad months when he was out here partying with Grealish, forgot that he was even a footballer for a while. So there's a lot of young players that go through these spells where they're bad. It's only highlighted more because Saka's the biggest player in that Arsenal team. So when he's bad, the rest of the team is horrible and they look bad. And you can really see it. Whereas when Foden's bad, Man City, you don't notice Foden not being there. Man City are just as good. When Liverpool's bad, or Trent is bad anyway when it comes to defensively. So you notice it, yes or no. Like you're gonna see how bad he is regardless. So these players have bad spells. Trent's had a very bad spell at times, but they come back and they always come out at the end of it looking a lot better. And I feel like it's the same for Saka, Foden, and Trent. They're all having spells, but they're all great players, and you can't take anything away from Saka.
There we go.
No one's saying he's a bad player, but you look again. Sorry, Sterling slander for me. That it just doesn't make much sense. You see the back post merchant tapping stuff. That's also disingenuous to the IQ it takes to consistently be in those positions to score those goals. Because we commend a Haaland for doing it, but they'll look at Sterling and say that's the only thing he's good at.
I'm not taking nothing away from Sterling in terms of being in them right. But I don't think in terms of when I watch him on the eye. If somebody said to me, "I'll pick a player on the eye or footballing ability that I think's better, Saka or Sterling," I'm saying Saka is the better player as an individual for me. But in terms of the team contribution, what Sterling's done for a team and the system, like George said, I can take nothing away from Sterling. It's just people's preference, and there's never going to be a right or wrong because obviously Saka's still 21 and he's not going to be able to be compared in terms of achievements until he's 29, like what Sterling is now, which is a long time. Saka might not be at Arsenal by then, or Arsenal might be winning trophies by then. So I think the trophy side's a harder argument. But in terms of system player, you say more of it's a Sterling thing. But in terms of individual players and saying, right, this player for judging them for this ability or this attribute, then I'll go with Saka. But you know what? We've got 10 minutes. Let's move on quickly, guys. Make sure you keep running up the likes, man. Make sure you're subscribing if you're new. Check out Big Six Bands. Monts, just so I know, you live tonight as well, by the way.
Yes, at 7:30. Game week 38, the last roundup of the season. The last roundup.
Perfect. Make sure you're there around 7:30, people, and then we're back live as well. I think maybe 9 or 10 o'clock tonight on Never a Foul. So make sure Monts is first and jump over to here. But relegation. Let's quickly speak on it because obviously Everton have got to win at home. If they draw and Leicester win, Leicester stay up. Leicester have to win. Leeds have to win, who have got Tottenham today. So I think it's only right we'll start with the Leeds-Tottenham game quickly because obviously Leeds, it's going to be a raucous atmosphere at Ellen Road today. Harry Kane is only on 28 goals, well, not only on, but he's 2 away from getting 30, which I think he's only done once in a season. So Spurs and him have got something to fight for. European spots are still there. Villa lose, the Spurs win. They can still get Conference League. So this Leeds-Tottenham game is a big game. I think it's going to be a great one to watch. What were your thoughts, George?
Yeah, no, it's actually a big game. Like I never thought in my life I'd be sitting and saying I'm battling for Conference League, but we need the Conference League spot. We really do. Like I'm being real. Like when people say, no, I'm being real. Like, I never thought I would be this down bad, but I am not going to be a guy that doesn't see my team play twice a week.
Yeah.
And doesn't see my team play European football. A trophy is a trophy. I need to see my team go out there. Just like you're seeing West Ham now. If West Ham win that, you think that's not...
Yeah, they're buzzing. My father-in-law's going. He can't wait.
I'm from East London. So I'm surrounded by West Ham fans. West Ham fans are up for it. They're talking about this being one of their best seasons in the longest of time. And yeah, we're not West Ham, but a trophy is a trophy. I want to see my team go out there and win something regardless. So we're battling to go into that competition of Conference League. We need to beat Leeds today, but it's not going to be an easy feat. Like I say, Ellen Road, they're pumping. They've not been in the Premier League for too long, so they're not looking to go out of it this quick. And they need a win. We need a win. We need to match Aston Villa's result.
That makes it a good game because it's not like one team sitting back.
Yes, because we both want to win. We're both going to need the points. Tottenham want to play European football. They want to play relegation. But if I'm being honest, I do see Leeds going down. Even if they beat us, I think Everton, like, regardless of our game, I don't know what to expect from Tottenham is my point. If Tottenham lose, I would not be surprised. Tottenham are just like Lewis. I'm just waiting for the season to go out. I've not really got no expectations of this team. Whatever happens with this team, it happens, and you just roll with the punches. So we might lose on this thing, but if Leeds do win, I don't see Everton losing to Bournemouth. Bournemouth haven't got anything to play for. Everton are a good team. They got Sean Dyche.
I'm gonna put a little bit of a surprise in. I saw David Ornstein say this morning when Bournemouth went down 2 years ago, whatever it was, they lost. They won at Everton and still went down. So apparently, like, it's in their head that like they've not got good memories from it. So they want to kind of put revenge and try and knock Everton down.
Okay, it makes a bit of sense. I mean, for me, like, Sean Dyche knows that he just needs a point. And there's no manager that you really want to play against other than Sean Dyche when you know that. Like, he's playing.
No, they need to win. They need to win, bro.
No, they're on 34 points on there. And I feel like if 33.
No, wait, let me just check. So they're if they draw and Leicester win, Leicester stay up because the goal difference is like 7.
Okay, so that's the thing. I feel like they need to win. It's going to be tight, man. It's going to be real tight. I see Everton staying up, though. I do see Everton staying up. I see Leicester and Leeds going down. I think it's going to be unfortunate, but Leeds and Leicester have got some good players, and so has Southampton. So I'm just looking at the players at them lot. I'm like, we can pick a couple up. A lot of teams can.
And if you get Brendan Rodgers, which I'll probably get you on the show next week to talk on the managers more. But if you get a Brendan Rodgers, he wants to bring Maddison with him all day. You need that creative midfielder. I'm going to ask you a question now, and I want to see what Hamza thinks. You know what I'm going to ask you? Is this Harry Kane's last game in the Spurs shirt?
I don't think so. I actually don't think so. I feel like I am of the Tottenham fan base that accepts at this point if Harry Kane wants to leave, let him go. I don't mind. I don't mind seeing Harry Kane go. Yeah, I have a lot of love for Harry Kane. I feel like everyone, Hamza knows, like I've been holding down the Harry Kane fort for far too many years, and I've done it all by myself. Been telling people he's better than Aguero, he's the best striker in the world. Like, this is my guy. But sometimes the story's got to end, and I feel like this year it might be the end of Harry Kane. If not, it will be next season or the season after that. He needs to go out with a bang. He needs to show us that no matter what, he's still here for us. And no, I don't think it's going to be his last game, though. I think we see him here next season. I don't feel like another team's going to pay enough money to tempt him to leave. And also, the way that he's been speaking recently about having talks to the board and all of this type of stuff, it sounds like
he's been doing a lot of press and stuff.
Yeah, he's done a lot of press stuff talking about how the culture at Tottenham, how we need to change this, we need to talk about this. So maybe he's going to take on a much bigger role in the team and be not just the captain of the team, but also someone that's looking to guide the team going forward. And I feel like before he leaves, he wants to see Tottenham in a good position. So hopefully he stays and we can get a few more years out of him, but I don't think it's going to be the last game.
Yeah, man. It'll be interesting to see his, like, the way, when they video people walking off the pitch, he's waving and doing all that stuff. They'll try to make a story, but it will be interesting, man. Hamza, either, because I know we're only going to do a few more minutes, either say if this is Kane's last game for you or just in general, who wins, Leeds, Tottenham?
Yeah, listen, I'm the only one that understands relegation, I've been there. I was in a glory hunter like all of you, man. All United, Arsenal, man. So 22 years ago, we faced relegation, 2001, and Everton beat that relegation. And it's painful, man. It's painful. Those are the moments, bro. Today is the day you will see tears, man. People are shitting their pants. Waking up.
We're chilling, but imagine how them fans are feeling right now. It's actually true.
Man, literally, it's momentum. I can't describe to you, man. Literally, it's the worst, bro. And if you go down to the championship, it's hard to come back up.
Yeah, bro, it's hard.
It's hard. People think that you're guaranteed. People say Norwich will come up. Look, where's Norwich? Where's West Brom? They haven't come up. It's dog eat dog there. It's a hard life down there, man. You're fighting there. So it's hard today to see Leeds, big club, Leicester, a team that won the league, Everton, too big to go down, bro. I wanted other teams to go down, but now we're left with, I think Everton survives it. Everton's too big, too huge to go down.
Yeah, I don't know if they've ever gone down.
Historically.
No, Everton's one of the other teams since, because obviously they created the Premier League. I don't think they've ever been relegated. Actually.
Oh, wait, here. Yeah. Everton relegation first since 1951.
Look at that.
Wow. So, yeah,
That's what I'm saying,
Everton's first time in people's lifetimes. Yes, they've never, basically in top flight, they've never really gone down, basically.
Yeah, never.
Wow.
Yeah, so I think Everton survived, but Leicester, sadly, man, you won the league couple of years ago. Couple of years later, you're going down. And the thing is, I want to see how many of their players, where do they go? The Maddison, the Tillemans, the Vardy, all these, they're good players, man. Harvey Barnes, good players. If I was Tottenham, I'll be going for some of those players. Now, that's typical. I'll shop around there, Lavia. That's when you're lucky to have had all those, even Leeds, Noto and all that stuff. They're top players. So, to me, I'm seeing Everton survive. Unfortunately, Leicester in tears, man, because Everton are at home against Bournemouth, and I think they win that.
Got to win though, Hamza. This is what I was just saying to George. Like the draw Newcastle and Leicester had makes it so much more fun, because if Leicester do win, Everton have to win at home. They can't even get a draw because the goal difference between Leicester and Everton.
And the thing is, let me make it clear. You know, the last game of the season, sometimes I hate teams. You have nothing to play for. That day, they perform like donkeys. Man City, QPR. Remember? They had Man City, Aston Villa. Look at that, bro. Yesterday, Dortmund, that Mainz had nothing to play for. Yeah. But they want to show.
Like you overthink so much.
Anything can happen. Bournemouth ain't going to go there. They want to be historic. They want to go there and be told, listen, you can send Everton, and people remember you as the team that sent Everton down. You'd want to play that game, you know, because you haven't got the pressure. So to me, they see as a challenge. So today, my God, if I was Everton, make sure you pack the bus here. Be very careful. Don't concede, because once you're 1-0 down, you're in trouble, man.
Oh, that's going to be it is going to be crazy. I actually like that there's 3 teams that can all stay up. And do you know what I like about it as well is that the 3 teams are so tight. But if one of them was away from home, I'd be like, do you know what? That team's probably done. The fact that Everton are at home, Leeds are at home, Leicester are at home, the fact they're all at home is like, the fans are going to be with them. There's no excuses. They're not all playing like typically hard games. I know that, okay, right, they've got Tottenham, which is the hardest out of the lot. Then you've got Bournemouth that are staying up. And then you've got West Ham who are focusing on the European final. So it kind of makes it proper intriguing. Mons, where are you, man? I'm going to say that I want Leicester to stay out personally, just because I've got a little bit of money on with my boy at the moment. So if Leicester go down, you get me, it's difficult times at the moment. But I want Leicester to stay up. I like Maddison and that to do it one more time. And I also feel like Leicester are that type of team. They didn't spend money last year, but if they do start spending money again, they always seem to attract and get a few good players in. And they're one of them games, if you go to them at 5:30 on a Saturday, they can beat anyone. And I like teams that can do that in the league, where I feel like Leeds and Everton, they're kind of done at the moment. But yeah, what you said on this final day, man, are you actually wanting Everton to go down, by the way, looking at them as like your not real rivals, but rivals? We'll wrap up.
I don't know, man. Like, you know, like you want to see your enemy in the mud, but you don't want to see them dead. It's like Batman and the Joker. Like, you want to stop him from what they're doing. But there's a reason why the Batman never kills the Joker. You know what I'm saying?
He just likes doing the same thing over and over again, being able to just keep kicking you.
Yeah, like, do I want to see Everton relegated? Probably, but then where's the fun at? Some teams don't even come back. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like I want to see them down there fighting, struggling, all of that. But whether I want to see them relegated, like, it's like stomping on your opponent when he's already lying there. Like, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think, look at the comments still saying, because it's not Arsenal, I don't care. But hey, man, I didn't fumble the title. You guys did. But I don't know. I think Leicester deserve to go down. I think Everton have done well to be where they are. It's in Everton's hands, and it's not in Leicester.
Yeah, it's in Everton's hands. Simple as that. They win.
Yeah,
they
it's
stay up.
Everton fans. I'd probably like to see, of the three, I'd like to see Leicester stay up. It'll be disappointing for Leicester to go down after winning the Premier League, winning the FA Cup, then to relegation.
How have they got? How have they got so bad? Because I was just looking at the table because I was thinking it's only 2 seasons ago that they were third that whole year.
They've had it just been,
and then they missed out on top 4 by 1 point like 2 seasons ago. So.
They've been killed this year with the injuries, man.
Yeah, like you look at one point, it was James Justin looked like one of the young upcoming wing backs for England.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. You had Roberto Pereira before Pereira's injury. He was brilliant before his injury. Obviously, Maddison's always been in and out with the injuries. Indeed, he somehow fell off a cliff after being linked to all the top clubs, after being such a consistent DM. You know, now they've gone from playing that to Amate and Faze and that in centre back. It's crazy what's going on over there. I probably want Leicester to stay up of the 3.
Yeah, okay, fair. It is going to be mad interesting to see, man. I'm going to wrap it up here. Perfect 1 hour 15. Guys, keep smashing that like button. There's still over 250 of you here, so keep making sure you're hitting that just before we wrap up. Don't forget, Big Six Bounces live at 7:30, and then Cass, Daps, and Mo, we're going to be back this evening, probably 9 or 10 o'clock after Big Six Bounces has gone as well. So I'll be doing a review of the games this obviously today and that, and we'll see what happens, guys. I would go through loads of comments, but there's nothing I don't think that's standing out to me. It's general chit chat and stuff like that. A little bit of banter there. Jacob saying Tottenham might be next for relegation. If Everton get relegated, this is your biggest trophy this season. Once that's quite funny too. But
if what?
That'll be your biggest trophy this season if Everton go down.
And what? Who said that? Who said that?
Who is it? Big up Mary as well. Thank you, Mary. Now here we go. IQ Insane.
Oh, I hope IQ Insane is not an Arsenal fan. By the way, I hope he's not an Arsenal fan. Remember, we have the most trophies, so you know.
Yes, interesting. Big up Wolves FI as well. Hope you're good. Blackie Chan says since the Leicester owner died in a helicopter crash, his son took over and basically ruined the club. A lot of people have actually said, obviously, which is obviously sad what happened with the helicopter accident, of course, but his son has not shown the same passion as what his dad did show. And maybe that's why they go down today. But guys, make sure you smash a like on your way out. Make sure you leave a comment as well. Actually, no, when this ends, write in the comments what teams you think go down. So either 2 of the Leeds, Leicester, or Everton. Put your little teams in who goes down. But guys, thank you for coming on. Big up Hamza and George every single time as well. It's the last day of the Premier League. Everyone enjoy it. And then the transfer window starts, man.
Pochettino's the new manager, apparently.
Yeah. And they're gonna come with next year, but we'll save that. That's for later shows, man. But yeah, big up Poch as well. Good luck to him, but hopefully don't finish above us next season. Big up, guys.